this month I haven't done as much as I did last month, but I'm going to blame that on the fact that February is shorter. So, this is what my journal's looking like, my media journal, and the books that I've read this month were Easy Beauty by Chloe Cooper Jones, which was my favourite, and this is just all quotes from that. And then I read The Keeper of Magical Things by Julie Leong, and Thirst Trap by Greenie O'Hare, and then Nonviolent Communication by Marshall B. Rosenberg, and Biography of X by Catherine Lacey. Okay, I read Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Crockman. Whatever I did while writing this, I did not write that down properly, and it's like, I think there are like multiple letters written on top of that, so I don't know if I got that right. But it's like a Christmas book, and it's not Christmas. But I think it was fine. I don't know. I feel like I was gonna forget. I like saw somebody talking about, like I was watching like a 2025 what I read in the year book. That was not English. What I read in 2025 video, and they mentioned that, and I was like, I'm not going to remember that by December, and so I just got it anyway and read it even though it's February. It's March now. And then I read Gwen and Art Are Not in Love by Lex Crochet, which I did look on Goodreads, and apparently the next book is, sorry about the motorbike, apparently the next book is coming out this year, which is cool. And then, right now I am reading Unlearning Shame by Devon Price, and I got this much through it, but I did actually, in the start of my journal, I like write down how many pages that I read every day, and I did at the start of, I wrote that I read 7.5 books, which that is not half, but I'm counting it. Yeah, but in January I read 2,590 pages, in February I read 2,281 pages, which is kind of similar, especially because February is like shorter, but in January I read 10 books, and February I read 7.5. And so that's kind of like, I don't know, I feel like, you know what I mean? The books were longer, and so that's why I read less. That's my argument. Anyway, with my journal, I finished my old one. I don't really like how much of like a contrast there is between these pages, and so I was kind of thinking about like adding some sort of like light pink colour, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. But yeah, this is my new journal. I'm gonna draw in it in pinks and reds because it's pink and red. I just think that would be cute. But so far all I've got is good morning, happy first of the month, which is hilarious. I really should do more. Anyway, my bingo card is also in there. I am going to put my bingo card, once the quarter is finished, in my old journal. There was like a 2026 spread, and I'm going to stick it in there. But because the quarter is not finished, I'm going to keep it in this for safekeeping. I think that I could be like on track to get like 4 bingos this quarter. Currently I don't have any, but we shall see how that goes. In terms of drawing, I didn't do any drawing. This is going to be like my just like regular sketchbook, and I didn't do any in this. This is from last month and I couldn't find it when I was taking the video, but yeah, in here I've done about this much of drawing, I think. No, it's this much actually. But yeah, so that's not a lot. I was kind of hoping to finish this within the quarter, and I doubt that's going to happen. But I would like at least to get through the reference photos I have, which would take me to about there. And then I also got this book, Eye to Eye, Portrait of Lesbians, and I would like to do a couple, like, drawings of photos that are in here, because I think that they're cool, and they're of people, and so that's, you know, I think it would be fun to have, like, a physical reference rather than just, like, my phone. So that's what that is. And then I also did some, this is, I don't know if I've said this already, but when I'm like 25, I'm gonna live in a van, I'm gonna move into a van. And so this is just my sort of book for like planning things out. So I did a couple like sketches of things. And that is in there. Breathing. Okay. Then the other thing is my scarf. I've gotten this much done, which is about this much. So I think, I don't know, I bought 2 things of yarn because the last scarf I made, I used 2 different yarns, and by the time I was getting to the end, there wasn't that much left. But I think because this one is thinner than the one that I made last time, and I don't know. I don't know if it's going to need both things of yarn, so spare yarn, always fun. But yeah, hopefully I can finish this soon. I was planning on having it finished by the end of next week, but this week I was not really knitting that much because on Sunday I like lay some flooring down in my bathroom, like just like on top of the floor, not like properly laid it down, but I like cut it out, and like it was kind of a hassle. And then on Monday I was like moving these bookcases in my room, and so I had to like take everything out of the bookcase and then put everything and then like move it and then take everything out of the other bookcase and put everything back in, and it was like a whole thing. And then on Tuesday I was at my friend's house because I like cook for her every few weeks, and she needed help with some yard work, and so I was like cleaning out some like gardening things and like pulling nails out of wood and things like that, just like random sort of like smallish kind of tasks. But because I did all of them like back to back, on Wednesday I woke up and my shoulders were like aching, and I was like trying to knit because I was like, sorry about the bike, but I was trying to like finish the knitting project really fast, and I just have not been able to knit all week. My shoulders thankfully are not sore anymore, so I will hopefully be doing as much of that as possible in the next few days. What else have we got going on? My romper, my hollyhock romper, I've cut out the pieces but I haven't sewn it yet. I don't know if I'm going to get that done soonish because there's a library, like a new library that's opening up, and they're going to have a sewing section in it, and the current library that I go to sew is like an hour bus ride away, and so the new one is like 10 minutes and so I kind of am just wondering whether I should wait until it opens, even though it only opens I think in like 2.5 weeks or something, and so I might wait until it opens to finish my romper, but if not, then I'll go to the other one. Kind of depends. We'll see how I feel. And yes, the other thing was making freezer friendly recipes. I have made, I think, 3 more because we had the cookies, and then I've done 3 recipes this month, so that's 4 out of 5. But there are also like a couple recipes that are kind of freezer recipes but also not, because I think when I was writing that I kind of meant things that I can kind of take out of the freezer and chuck in the oven and not really think about. And there are a couple sort of recipes that are more like they're from the freezer. You know, there's like, okay, this isn't making sense, so I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. I have this like pesto pasta recipe where I will get pasta and frozen broccoli, and I'll put that in my rice cooker, and I'll get a chicken tender, a couple of chicken tenders, and I'll put that in my oven, and then put that on, and I'll get one of my cubes of pesto. I have like frozen pesto cubes, and I'll get one of those out, and what else do I do? And a stick of butter, of course, because it's pasta, and I'll get that out, and then once the kind of about the time that the chicken needs flipped, because the chicken that I have, like, it says to flip it halfway through, and so when I flip it, then I'll also take the broccoli out of the rice cooker and put it in the oven so that it gets all like crispy, and then I add some like frozen peas into the rice cooker that's boiling the pasta, and then when the pasta's ready I'll take that out and mix it with the butter and the pesto, and then add the chicken tenders and the broccoli. And so like that's kind of a freezer meal because everything is from my freezer except the pasta, but it's also not a freezer meal in the sort of, you know what I mean, like I feel like there's too much steps involved in it for it to like kind of count as a freezer meal. Like today I had nachos, which was, I just put the cubes in the oven for like 30 minutes and then I had food and that was, well, then I put cheese on it for a couple minutes, and that was like, that's what I kind of mean by a freezer meal, and so those don't really count as that. So yeah, so I've got 4 out of 5, which I think is pretty good, which means I only have 1 left to do this month. And then I still have not gone to the beach, but yeah, I'm planning on doing that hopefully soon. But yeah, and also the museum has opened a specific thing that I want to go to, and so that will be done. And in terms of reading 6 non-fiction books, I've almost done that. I just need to finish this one, and then that will be all of my reading goals off of my bingo. Yeah. I don't really, okay, I think I've gotten okay at French braiding, but I don't necessarily think that I've like perfected it. So I don't know how I feel about that. The thing is that I can't really tell because I can't see it, and so maybe I'm gonna have to like French braid in front of somebody and have them judge like whether or not I've done it well. But I don't know anybody who has long hair. All my friends have short hair, and so I don't know how well they're gonna be able to judge that. But yeah, that's been my month, I think, mostly. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I can't really remember, so see ya.